What's up, guys? It's Jesse here, and today we are skill level 10. We're not exactly learning everything, it's just kind of a review or overview of the last 9 levels that we did to make sure we learn everything properly and build that good foundation as we move forward, knowing we know the tools, and we can move on to identifying parts and maintenance and fixing things on the car. So now we can put the tools behind us after this video, and we can move forward to, actually getting these hands greasy sooner or later. So anyways, let's go over what we learned so far, right? So far what we learned is the importance of PPE. So make sure you got safety glasses, gloves, and ear protection, right? Because when you're using tools, you don't want nothing to put an eye out. Also, chemicals can seep in your skin, and with your ears, exhaust, banging noises, loud noises can damage your hearing, and we don't want to do that, right? So always use your PPE and make sure your area is clean, like my area around my car in my air garage. This is my air garage, y'all. It ain't much, but it's mine. It's clear of everything, so you don't want to trip and fall, especially tripping and falling on a tool or something that can pierce you, because then that could be fatal, right? So yeah, so moving on to the tools, we learned about screwdrivers, flatheads, Phillips heads. We learned about that. We learned about cam out. Just to refresh on the cam out, is when you put too much pressure and it pops out and it can kind of round, and we don't want to do that. Just 70-30, 70% pressure, 30, that kind of thing. So I think it was 70-30. I might need to watch my own video again, right? So moving on, we learned about pliers as well, and these pliers are good for some things. They're not good for all things. Wires can get a little bit too big for them, and the diagonal pliers, of course, for cutting larger wires, right? So moving on to the adjustable wrench. The adjustable wrench is a good tool to have, of course, but it can also round off bolts. And for me, this is kind of a last resort thing. The only time I've ever used an adjustable wrench is on my RSX that I have, and that was when I was doing the alignment. It was a perfect tool for the alignment, but it will round off a bolt. So when you use it gently. Don't be banging on it. And also remember that this side that's made into the wrench is the pressure side. This is not the pressure side. This is the pressure side. You go back, watch the video. I teach you on that. Okay, let's move on. Oh, before we move too far, let's talk about these heads right here. You see the H ones right here. I don't know if you can see the H ones, the hexagonal heads. These are specifically made for torquing. See, they're identified H2, H3. They are made for torquing. This is, if you see a hex bolt or hex head, that's what it's made for, torquing. It can handle a lot of torque. And the Phillips head is designed to cam out with too much pressure without rounding. It's just the other ones will round. Now that I got that clarified, let's move on. And we went over the ratchet, the 3/8 ratchet, pretty common ratchet. And then you got your extension, right? We're putting it together, right? And then let's see here. Where's the 10mm at? Let's use the famous 10mm, the infamous 10mm. There you go. We put it together, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Now, these things make a job real easy compared to these, right? So you mainly want to use this in tight engine spaces. That's what these are made for, tight engine spaces. So if you have to get a bolt, like a starter on this car is a good example. The starter's right here. and it would be easier to use that than this, right? So that's what it's made for. And then of course we learned about the wrench. You got the open end, you got the closed end. This is the end that you torque with right here. You see it's got 12 grips. You actually want one with 6 grips. 6 grips grips a lot better than 12. This is more prone to round. And this end right here is your turning end. You can turn more efficient with this end than this end. And this end also round. So if you're putting any pressure, say like you're going to take this bolt, you're going to break this bolt loose, use this end, not this end. So you could break it loose and then use this end, but that's kind of how you want to do it, right? And I believe that's everything. No, it's not. We got 2 more things to go over before we close this video out. And the next thing we go over has been the star of my channel so far. She has been in 3 of my videos already. This will be the 3rd one. And she has 2 of her own videos. How about that? She is special. So torque wrench, right? This bad boy's hold on. That guy's truck is really loud. I'm not gonna talk over it. So this torque wrench is 20 bucks. I made a bargain bin video on it. Great torque wrench, you know. So it's click base, turn base, and what I mean by turn base is you unlock it down here. Oh, I just locked it. Unlock it down here, and then you adjust your numbers, and always set it back to 0 when you put it up, so it don't bump off, because it will bump off. So great tool, you know, it will come in handy. And last but not least, I'm not dragging it over here, but let's talk about the jack and jack stands. So you know, I went over jacks, low profile jack for when we lower the car, it can slide up and under the car. And we never do mechanic work while the car is on the jack, correct? So we always do mechanic work when it's on the jack stands. That's what they're there for. That's, you know, safety. And whenever we jack this car up, or your car, if it's a manual, always put a block behind the rear tire. That way it doesn't roll, because you don't want to damage your car or the jack. And let's see here. I believe that covers everything but the hammer. Hammer's pretty straightforward. If you watch the video, the hammer was straightforward. It's just mostly like, you know, don't knock a finger off. Wear glasses when you use it, so you know stuff don't go in your eyes. All my years of mechanic work, I've never used a standard hammer. I always used a rubber mallet. So rubber mallet won't really, far to my knowledge, won't really damage anything. So I gotta grab me one of them, because I'm leery of just using a straight up hammer. So yeah, I think that covers everything. So we're wrapping level 10 up. Level 11 will start the series. You know, we're going to be identifying parts up under the hood and moving forward into the maintenance of them parts and how to fix them parts. So it's a progression, right? And this was, and just like level 20 would be an overview, level 30 would be an overview, and the trim will carry on. So yeah, before I get out of here, I'm gonna ask a few questions, make sure y'all learn something. So if you have a bolt that needs to be tightened to a certain torque spec, what tool would you use? Be sure to drop it in the comments, and I will pin the best one, right? So I said this early in the video. I'm gonna see if y'all are paying attention, but if you have a bolt that's hard to reach behind the fuel injection on this motor or your motor, you know, and it's a 10 millimeter, what do you use? What tool do you use? Be sure to put it in the comments and let me know that you're paying attention. And the next question, if you're removing your battery, what tool would you use to remove your battery? Specifically this one, if you can see this one, what would you use to remove this battery? Let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, that was level 10. Next up, level 11, we will start identifying parts for the next few levels before we start turning wrenches. And yeah, so I appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. I'm also on TikTok. I'll see you guys next video.